Okay, so this tiny box right here, this thing can hold up to 8 SSD, like 8 of them, in something that's smaller than my kid's lunchbox. And it's got 10 gigs of internet speed built in. I'm not even kidding. The TerraMaster F8 SSD Plus might be the fastest little NAS I've ever touched. Or it might melt down in front of me. Let's find out. My name is Zino and on this channel I cover the latest tech products. I want to thank TerraMaster for sending me this early so I could test it and share my thoughts with you. And yes, this video is sponsored, but like always you're gonna get both the pros and the cons. So by the end of this video you'll know exactly what to expect and if it's worth a $800 price tag. Now honestly, when I saw that this unit has 8 NVMe slots in a box smaller than my PlayStation, I thought nah, no way. That's gotta be fake, but look it out. And here it is on my desk. So let's see if it's genius or just a marketing hype. Okay, unboxing time. First reaction. Whoa, this thing is tiny. Like I've reviewed routers bigger than this. When you hear 8-bay NAS, you think of this massive loud cube. No, this one looks like you can sneak it into a backpack and no one would notice. Pulling it out, plastic shell, but you can feel the metal inside. Solid enough, not luxury, not cheap. Like that mid-range IKEA furniture that somehow lasts longer than you thought. So it comes with a power brick, chunky as expected, network cable, standard, a few papers that, let's be real, nobody reads, and heat sinks. They actually give you little metal heat sinks for the SSDs. That's nice. But then I decide to read the instructions. And oh no, they want me to strap the heat sinks on with rubber bands. Rubber bands! I'm not joking. I'm about to build an $800 storage server with the same thing I used to tie up leftover spaghetti bags. That feels sketchy. And it's not just me being picky. I literally snapped like 3 of them just trying to put the SSDs in. Luckily, they give extras, which makes me think, yeah, they knew this would happen. That's wild. But okay, aside from my rubber band comedy show, the unboxing is straightforward. Nothing flashy, just the basics. Alright, let's check the ports. We've got some USB 3.2 ports here, Type A, Type C, all at 10 gig speed. That's solid, good for plugging in external drives or adapters. And then, boom, the star of the show, a single 10 gig Ethernet port. Finally a NAS that doesn't just give you 2 baby 1 gig ports and call it a day. No, this is grown-up speed. But, and it's just a big but, there's only one. Just one highway lane. Which feels weird because inside this box you've got all this power but only one road to get it out. Like owning a mansion with one tiny door. And we've also got an HDMI port. I don't know why, you can't really use it for Netflix or whatever. Best case, you stare at the BIOS for fun. So yeah, ports are simple. It's like, here's your 10 gig, don't complain. Let's talk guts. Inside, we've got 8 NVMe slots. All Gen 3, not Gen 4, and each one is X1 speed. So about 1000 megabytes per drive. Which is fast, but not melt your face fast. Still, with 8 of them together, that's like a lot of horsepower. CPU, Intel N305, 8 cores, 8 threads, low power chip. It runs between 9 and 15 watts, but can turbo up to 3.8 GHz when it feels like flexing. It's not Threadripper, but for this box, honestly impressive. RAM? Well, 16 gigs of DDR5 included. You can bump it to 32 gigs. No ECC memory, which some people will cry about, but DDR5 has built-in on-die error correction. It's not the same, but it's something. So on paper, solid CPU, decent RAM, 8 SSD slots, 10 gigs of port, looks good. But paper specs are one thing, real life is what matters. So I load up an SSD, snap, rubber band breaking left and right. I'm laughing and also kind of worried, but eventually I get them in. Boot it up, the operating system installs. Took about 10 minutes and boom, I'm in TerraMaster's TOS system. First thought, it looks like Windows 11 with a coat of a NAS paint. Clean, but also weird. The taskbars at the top. Why? My brain keeps reaching for the bottom, but hey, it's responsive. It guides you through setting up your drives. I went with the trade option, which is basically like Synology's SHR. Basically, it lets you mix and match drive sizes. good if you're reusing old SSDs. Setup was way faster than hard drives, about 2 hours, which is nothing compared to the 24 plus hours I've waited on hard drive based NAS setups before. So I did a few tests, a giant file transfer, I threw like 800 gigs of video at it and instantly maxed out 10 gigs port. Flatline, it's like the box was laughing at me inside. It could clearly go faster, but that one port was like, nope, that's all you get. Then Plex, I tried a few 4K transcodes, smooth, no lag, CPU barely broke a sweat. This little thing might be the best budget Plex server I've tried. Then I got cocky, spun up a virtual machine, then another, still fine. The SSD speed makes a huge difference here. It felt more like running them on my main PC than on a little NAS. One funny moment, I tried running a bunch of heavy transfers at once. And yeah, that single Ethernet port was working overtime. It maxed out fast, which honestly just shows how much speed this little box is packing inside. Sure, dual ports would have been nice, but for one connection to hit the ceiling, it's kinda impressive. Now let's talk about TOS, TerraMaster's OS. Honestly, it surprised me. I expected clunky menus, but it's actually decent. Snapshots, backups, Cloud Sync, and even AI photo. You can run Docker containers, VMs, and Plex. There's even a duplication tool that hunts down duplicated files. And backup options are solid. Cloud, USB, other NAS, it checks all the basics. It's not exactly the same as Synology DSM, but honestly, that's not a bad thing. TOS has its own style. And once you click around a bit, it feels pretty smooth. Menus are clear, features are easy to find, and it does all the important stuff without making you dig through a million settings. For most people, it's more than good enough right out of the box. And it has a ton of apps you can choose from. It has literally everything, and you can choose also for community apps. Now let's talk about the things I like. Size. This thing is crazy compact. I could legit put it on a bookshelf next to my comic books and nobody would notice. Then performance. Inside, it's a beast. Even though it only comes with one port of 10 gigs, the internal speed for VMs and apps is fantastic. The price for $799 for 8 NVMe slots and 10 gigs networking is honestly fair. If I build this from parts, it'll probably cost me more. And I gotta admit, I kinda like how weird the rubber band thing is. It's dumb, but also charming. But yeah, let's move on to things to think about. Rubber bands, like, come on. That feels like a DIY YouTube hack, not a professional product. And only one Ethernet port. Huge missed opportunity. Give me 2 at least, so I can bond them or fill over. But besides that, this is a top product and I'm gonna keep it and I'm gonna use it because honestly, it is super fast. So the price, $799 in the US, about the same in euros. For what you get, I truly think it's solid. Would I buy it? Honestly, yes, the value is there. So if you want to check it out, links are in the description. Official TerraMaster, Amazon US and EU. So after a few weeks with this thing, here's my honest take. The TerraMaster F8 SSD Plus is kinda like that kid in the class who looks small and quiet, but secretly outruns everyone in gym. It doesn't look like much, but it performs way better than you expect. It's not perfect. The rubber bands are silly. The single port is frustrating. But at the end of the day, for $800, it's fast, it's compact, and surprisingly, really good. Would I replace my giant HDD NAS with this? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know yet. I'm gonna test around and play with it for a bit longer. But it's seriously a fast little SSD box for Plex, VMs, and projects. Then absolutely, this is the top main product you can choose for. Alright, that's it from me. If you enjoyed this little adventure, maybe hit the like button or drop a comment below. Would you trust your data to rubber bands? I need to know. And if you're into more tech rabbit holes, subscribing is the best way to stick around.